Hey guys, so I know I haven't done a video for God knows how long. Last time I probably streamed anything because my partner doesn't know I do this would probably be 4 or 5 weeks ago. So I am not well, so you might hear it in my voice, and trying to keep my mind busy because if I don't, I'm going to go mad. I have started to read this fantastic book called The Secret History of the World by Jonathan Black. And I thought what might be interesting and make me to read it even every day, make me read it every day, sorry, very English there, would be to do a chapter run through and some information about that chapter and what I liked about it and what, pulling it apart and really reading the book and digesting it. So, beginning. We start with their preference. As you can see, I have scrolled notes down. I just love the images in this book. They're just fantastic. I mean, look at that. Amazing. All these things that we're missing out on not being able to travel. So annoying. At least we have books and film and whatnot. I love the layout and I love how it's got the different projects that are within. It's pretty good. Yeah. So I thought for me, the preference was explorative. It had an explorative entry into a brief explanation as to what this book offers you. It's exciting, thrilling and edgy for the curious mind. And I started to really delve deep into chapter 1. And just found it, the images are just fantastic and they really help you with the guidance of the book. There's actually a coloured version of it that I really want to get. I'm going to have a look online for that at some point. So chapter 1 has your brain beginning to question the surrealist art movement. So that's like looking at Dadaism. There's actually an image that I found really interesting. So picture of Mona Lisa, but with certain aspects of Mona Lisa's face slightly different, changed and explored a little bit more. I mean, the pictures by Marcel Duchamp are just absolutely fascinating in themselves. And linking perhaps to The Secret, which is a newer book that I read many years ago, and by Mum Jo, she ended up giving it to me for a Christmas present, and it really makes you question everything about life, everything before life. Yeah, and afterlife as well. Looking at, the cybernetics of everyday life and linking it through to robots. And I have a real interest in Sophia, the human robot, which is, available to look at on YouTube. And she's actually on a TV show, and they actually have this recording of Sophia saying she actually wanted to cause the end of the world and she wanted to overtake humans. I mean, it makes you really question as to when does a robot stop being a robot? When does a human stop being a human? What is the actual link? What's the crossover? What is that point in existence where it's taken away and extended upon? And yeah, it's fascinating. Smarter over time being a line in one of the YouTube videos that really fascinated my curious mind. And again, looking at like The Matrix and linking that back to Celestine Prophecy books, I mean, they're fantastic. There's like a group of 3 books that you should really try and get your hands on to read. And even looking at the Tibetans and the inclusivity of cultures within the first chapter of this book is just phenomenal. I definitely think you should pick it up if you've got the same curious mind that I've got, or even if you just want to have a look at things that may have been hidden in society. And it's a window of expression for you to look at. like we have the power to control what we think about. Like the cursor on a computer hovering over everything and highlighting parts that we're thinking about, but then again it makes you think about the fact that we do forget this, and then we have irrational feelings and irrational emotions and a mindset coming in, that we almost forget that we are in charge of those thoughts, that we can break them down, and we can actually be in charge of that. You know, we as humans are conditioned almost to not think about that side of things until we have a moment where we break through with the fact of, I'm not doing this, I'm not thinking about this, I'm going to change my mindset, I'm going to look at something else. I mean, if you think about a mother and a baby, and the baby is crying, first you'll go through the obvious things of, does the baby need feeding? Is the baby wet? Is the baby dry, dirty, whatever? Does the baby need feeding? Does the baby need burping? And if it's none of those things, what do you do next? Distraction technique. But as we grow older, a lot of us forget that fundamental gift of distraction. And our curious minds can become very shallow, and we forget that we are allowed to question things. We're allowed to ask why. We're allowed to ask how. And by asking why and asking how, that's then that we can grow. We can extend our brain and engage with other people who may have interest in the same things as you. Or even if they don't have an interest in the same things as you, isn't it interesting that we're all so different? Yeah. So that first chapter for me has just been fantastic. It's taken me a couple of days to read it, and I'm really sorry about the sound of my voice right now. But I'm looking forward to reading chapter 2, especially with the fact that at the end of chapter 1, we get this gorgeous clue as to where things may be taking us. And a particular chapter that a particular paragraph, my apologies, that I really appreciated in chapter 1 is, sometimes things go wrong and life seems pointless. But then at other times, our lives do seem to have meaning. For example, life sometimes seems to have taken a wrong turn. We fail an exam, lose a job, or a love affair ends. But then we find our true Mary or true love as a result of seemingly something going wrong. Or it happens that someone decides against boarding a plane, which then crashes. If something like this happens, we may feel as if someone up there is looking after us. And I have to admit that for me, that someone up there, yeah, that's a real factor in my life. And I know it's those people there that push me to read books like this, push me to be curious, and I absolutely adore them for it. So, going back to what I was just ending this on, is that at the end of chapter 1, we have this information here. In this next chapter, we will begin to imagine ourselves into the minds of the initiates of the ancient world, and to see the world from their perspective. I absolutely love being able to see things from different perspectives, different cultures, different religions, different everything. Everything in life has a flavour, honey. Everything in life has a vibration. Can't wait to see where this goes. Let you know how chapter 2 goes. Bye.